Black Friday plugin deals are ruining your mixes, but I always ask myself 3 questions before I purchase any new plugin, microphone, or anything else in the studio. And by the end of this video, I will show you exactly what to spend your money on to actually get better music. Now, I want to be clear about something. I am not the cheap gear guy on YouTube. I'm the all-in-the-box guy on YouTube. I think you don't need analog gear, and I think you're better off without it. But I still think that you should spend money on your craft, but you need to spend your money in the right places. Every producer goes through 2 paths when they start making music. They load up their favorite DAW and they start making music, and then they realize that there's something missing. Their mixes aren't sounding like everybody else's on the radio, and that's when most people start to look for new plugins, new tools, analog hardware, outboard gear, different microphones, different speakers, and everything else. You will eventually get to a place where you're making great mixes, but it will take you a long time because you have to learn the lessons the hard way. Now there's the second path, and this is the path that I took quite a few years after I had gone through a lot of pain and agony from taking the first path. The second path is education. If you actually know how to use the tools you have, you are going to get a way better result than anybody that has all of the tools in the world, but they have no idea what they're doing. You ever get scrolling around on YouTube late at night, can't sleep, and you just see these guys making all of these wonderful in-ground pools and huts and stuff like that with sticks? I can't even do that with the power tools I have in my house. And yet here these guys are with sticks knowing exactly what to do. It's the education that gets you the result that you want, not necessarily the tools. Now, there is a time and a place to buy tools, but I always ask myself 3 questions before I purchase any new plugin, microphone, or anything else in the studio. Number 1, if I can't without, then buy. If I physically cannot do the thing I'm looking for without this piece of equipment or plugin, then I will purchase the plugin or piece of equipment. For example, I need to record vocals. I need to record stuff in the studio. I have to have a microphone. It doesn't have to be a phenomenal one, but it has to be a microphone. If you don't have a microphone and you want to start recording stuff, that's probably something to purchase. Hey, real quick, if you want to jumpstart to recording better vocals at home, I have a guide you can download for free. Just scroll down right now, click the top link in the description, and you can download the ultimate guide to recording vocals at home. Education is the first place you should always start when trying to get better mixes, better recordings, and just better music in general. And this guide has everything you need to know to get radio-ready vocals at home. So scroll down right now, click the top link in the description, and it'll be sent immediately to your inbox. Now back to the video. Now for the plugin side of things, there is no format shifter inside of Studio One. I can't do any sort of throat length adjustments inside of Studio One with the stock plugins. So in this case, I had to actually go out and purchase a third-party plugin to get the result that I wanted, and I use it all the time. Number 2, does it speed up my workflow? This isn't necessarily super important when you first start out, but if you start turning your studio into some sort of side income at all, you're gonna find out that speeding up your workflow is really helpful. Even if you don't end up turning your studio into an income at all, just getting an idea down and getting a really good product at the end of it, and half the time, can really get better songs at the end because you're not letting anything get in the way of your creativity. An example of this is Melodyne is great, but it takes a little bit to load up. But if you have Metatune from Slate Digital, you can just throw that on a track, click on low latency mode, and your vocals are in tune while you're recording them. It's literally the simplest thing ever. It speeds up my workflow, people feel confident in the studio, and it's 100% worth adding to your studio. And now number 3, and this one's really tough. You have to be honest with yourself on this one. If it sparks creativity, then it's probably worth the purchase. I have a lot of guitars. Honestly, I could do everything I need with one guitar, but I really like having my Stratocaster. I like having my Telecaster. I really like having my Les Paul and my Jackson hanging up on the wall over there. I really like these guitars because they all have different tonal qualities, but it's not just that. It's the fact that every time I walk into the studio and I see that guitar hanging on the wall, it sparks creativity and I want to grab it and I want to start making music. That was a good purchase. Now, all this to say, if you are like me and really just like plug-in subscriptions, like the Slate Digital All Access Pass, none of this matters to you because you just get a ton of new plugins and pay the same price every single month. But remember, all the time that you spend learning new plugins is time taken away from you actually making incredible sounding music. Now, I love mid-side processing plugins, but mid-side is actually a lie. It's not real. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you can just click this video right here. In that video, I show you exactly what mid-side processing is and how you can use it in your next song to trick people into thinking that your mixes are wider than they actually are. I'll see you over there. Now, as always, go create.